Hi all at FIA, this is student Nick Blackwell, number 150149094. I'm here with Michael today, our 37-year-old client who is post-shoulder surgery or shoulder injury and has a long-term goal of some fat loss. How are we doing today, Michael?
I'm doing great.
Great. So Michael is new to the gym, and so we're doing an introductory session essentially today. So we're going to be doing some pretty simple basic movements and probably with a bit of support, so to speak. To start things off, we're going to do a 5-minute warm-up, a 15-minute warm-up. We'll start you off. You can either choose to go on the spin bike or on the ski erg. I know this one's catching your eye a little bit here. It's a bit of a strange piece of equipment, but we'll get you on there for 5 minutes and follow that up with some dynamic movements, essentially to promote a bit more blood flow to the area.
Yep.
And then we'll get on with a little bit of more aggressive movement. We'll see how we're going. We'll transition then into the main set and then finish off with a cool down. So, wherever you'd like to go, Matt.
I've never seen what that thing does in my life.
Not a problem. Here, we'll set you up with it. I'll help you get the straps down. So if you want to come stand on the pad here. So you loop your hand through each of the straps and grab a hold of the grip. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the way. And it's all about just pulling down, and the ropes will track themselves.
Yeah, so like that.
Yeah. That's it. And so if you want to put a little bit of lean into it, like this, it's a bit like skiing.
Yeah.
That's it. And so all we're doing right now is a little bit of exercise at low intensity, just to get blood flowing. We don't want you going flat out right now. We don't want anything like that, because if you tried, you'd probably hurt yourself. Your muscles aren't ready for that yet. But we'll give you about 5 minutes on here just to get things going.
Yeah.
But you're feeling well today?
I'm feeling well.
Great. Great. And we're happy that you've kind of decided to make this step and sign up to a program with us. For the sake of everyone at home and the length of this video, we're going to get Michael to stop the set, his ski erg right now. In a regular instance, the client would do 5 minutes of light aerobic on their choice, in this case being the ski erg. You just let them go there, fine. We're now going to move into some dynamic movement. So if you want to meet me at the other end of the gym. So I'm just going to show you first off what we're going to do, and then I'll get you to repeat after me essentially. So we're going to find a space on the wall, so either next to the mirror, which I can move for you, or on the medicine ball. I'll take the medicine ball side just so you don't have to.
Yep.
So if you want to take a stance over here, all I'm going to ask you to do is put either 1 or 2 hands up against the wall, 1 foot back, 1 foot forward, and just lunge down and up. So knee touch the ground.
Yep.
And so if you'd like to do that, I want 10, so 5 on each leg. And so with this, I should say over here with Michael here, essentially what we're doing is putting him through a larger range of motion than he would probably normally be doing. Stretches the muscle, it gets a bit of blood flow in, and it helps warm it up a little bit further. This is also comparable to the squats that we'll be doing today, so it is a very like-minded situation where we're trying to replicate the movement a little bit. How does that feel, Michael?
That was alright.
Good. Now we're going to do what's called leg swing. It's a very passive stretch for us. So I would recommend that you go just off to the side of this here.
Yep.
And you're going to grab a hold just for a bit of balance. And you're just going to swing your leg backwards and forwards like so.
Yeah.
So when you're ready, I want 10 to each side, please.
Yeah.
So I'll set up over here and just work through them with you. Alright, ready to swap?
Yeah.
Perfect. This feels alright, it's not too far out of your comfort zone.
All good.
Alright, now we're going to do something very, very similar. That was what we would call a frontal leg swing. We're going to work on a lateral. And so essentially I would probably set myself up at a little bit of an angle like this.
Yep.
Again, grasping this. And so we're just going to swing through.
Yep.
Like so. There you go. Nice. Just swinging across the body. That's it. We're doing the same again, 10 each side.
That's 10.
Perfect. Nice. So we're going to progress on to a little bit of a similar motion, just for our upper body this time. We're going to do essentially arm circles. We're doing 10 forward, 10 back, 10 counter rotation to one way. We're going to try and test your brain a little bit, and 10 the other way. So if you just follow me, what you do, find yourself a little bit of space. We don't want to smack the wall or anything. So we're just going to start going over, loosen up the shoulders a little bit. Try and make as big a arc as you can. That's it. Nice. So we'll go backwards now. Nice. And now we're going to do counter rotational. So one's ideally going forwards, one's going backwards. Pick a side. Let's see how we go. So looking something like this. So boom. That's it.
Oh, that's not good on the mind.
Yeah, I know. It's a bit tricky. Once you find the rhythm, it normally kind of settles in itself. And now we're really going to mess with you a little bit by making you go the other way.
Yes. There we go.
Yeah. Nice. You've done that pretty well.
Very weird swimming move.
That's it. Going forwards and backwards at the same time. Perfect. And now we're kind of going on to a little bit more aggressive movements. The first one's going to be walking knee tucks, and then we're going to do a side skip and a grapevine. We'll see if we get to the grapevine. It is a little bit of a challenging exercise, but in the space we have here, just want you to perform 5 walking knee tucks and just follow what I do. It'll probably be 5 in one direction, 5 in the other. So 1, 2,
Yep.
3, 4, 5, yep, and then obviously the opposite leg back the other way.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, and now back the other way, thank you.
Very clear there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Nice. And now we're going to come through on a side skip, so we'll get about, again, 4 to 5 on the side, so. And then back the other way.
Cool. Like that.
Yep, exactly that.
And same face as
Yep.
that. Yeah.
So you're operating the little leg now. And now, if that was the forward and backward arm swing, this is the counter rotational one. A little bit more of a brain teaser. So we're going to do what's called a grapevine. And so it's where you cross the one leg over and jump across. And you're going to go back facing the same way, so you work the opposite leg. Just watch your step there, that's it.
That.
Yep, and back the other way. That's it. It's a matter of moving sideways, but also not getting all tangled up in yourself. You're feeling nice and warmed up now?
Yep.
Great, because we're going to progress into our main set now. And so for the safety, so that I can also spot you safely, as it's your first time in the gym, but also so that you always have a structure around you, we're going to get you to do squats in what's called a Smith machine. And so if we look here, essentially it's a barbell, but it's racked up so that you are always kind of locked out and you can never essentially be harmed by the bar. So if I was to squat here, And we're just going to squat the weight of the bar at the moment. Come down. But if I was in trouble, I would always be safe. We're going to perform a rep that looks something like this. With our feet shoulder width apart, we're going to come down to 90 degrees and back up. I want you to focus on essentially feeling the weight through your whole foot, not just either your toes or your heels, but balanced all the way through and maintaining a nice spine. I'll kind of be coaching you from the side and seeing how your posture goes. We're going to be doing 8 to 10 of those, seeing how you feel. Here, I'll lower the bar actually for you. Should be about right.
That's on head.
That's it. And so rotate it backwards and up. Nice. So feet shoulder width apart. And when you're ready,
Cool. So like this,
rotate the bar back. That's it. Nice. 1, 2. Feel free to rest it on your shoulders, Matt. Michael. That's it, and keep it rotated back. That's it. 4, 5, 6, 7. You got a great spinal posture there. 8, 9, and 10. Are you able to lock it in? Slightly lower. There you go.
Yep.
I got it. Lovely. So that was a great start. We'll move on from there. I do not know what that is. Oh, I think I do know what that is. Grease off the machine there. Now I'm working into something called a lat pull. And so we'll see how we go. This is the apparatus that we're going to be using here, and I'll show you what it looks like in just a second. Getting our camera here for just a sec. So with our lat pull, we're going to be using this nice wide bar here. Essentially, what we're going to do is we're going to sit on the seat below and kind of lock our legs in with these foam pads on this bar right here. I'm a little bit taller, so I'd have to sit a little bit lower than you, and I do right now. Essentially, what you're going to do is take a seat right in this machine, lock your legs under the pads, feet nicely on the ground. And so when we pull down, we're going to pull down with a nice neutral spine. Our elbows, our shoulders and our wrists all tracking in the same direction.
Yep.
We're going to pull down to our chin and let it go back up. Well, not let it go, control it back up.
Yeah.
But what I want to emphasize is that we're not pulling with a hunched back, pulling down, and we're not leaning back to pull the weight. We want to work the muscles that join our back and arms together. So I'll raise the seat so that you can take a spot here. You want to see how this feels? We'll try and match the machine to what you need. There we are. Take a seat. All good. Does that feel good and you can reach the bar?
Yeah.
Lovely. And so from there,
Straight spine.
that's it. And pulling down to your chest, that's it. Nice even bar path. Great. Nice work. As you can see here, that's pulling nice and evenly. He's not leaning at all anyway. The line of the bar is attached to bisects his body evenly. The bar is even in his hands, even weight. 7, 8, 9, and 10. That's our last rep. Well done. Yep. So yeah, Matt's form there was nice and clean, and there's no real corrections to be made at the moment. We'd always be watching his form and be making sure that we can spot him adequately should he get into any sort of trouble. With that being said, are you happy to progress on to the next exercise?
Yep.
Great. A very, very simple one. probably heard of it, push-ups. Almost everyone has done them at some point. We can either do them from our knees or our feet. I think to start things off, we'll see how we go from our knees, just to check our form. And then if we want to, we can progress up to our feet for the last couple reps, but we'll see. Again, we're doing about 10, and so it'll look something like this. We'll use this nice open space here, so both of us can kind of get an idea of what's going on. You want to lie yourself in this gap here. Just watch me before we continue on. So essentially what we're going to do, knees either shoulder width apart or I guess slightly under, essentially supporting our weight. We're going to lean forward, our hands are directly under our shoulders, and so you can either have your feet on the ground or in the air, whatever you prefer, but with a nice straight back, or what we call neutral spine. We're going to push down to below 90. Our arms, they're not going to be pinched up against our body so we can't move, but they're not going to be flayed out either.
Yeah.
They're going to be at a nice tip. It comes naturally, typically, natural point. It's going to flare out maybe just a little bit, but down to 90 and back up.
Yeah.
Down and up. So we're going to be doing 10 of those reps. If you wouldn't mind, I'll start off and I'll even work through some with you. Ready, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, good, keep going, 7, 8, 9, 10, great work. I didn't see any problems with the posture right there. Seemed to distribute your weight evenly, and your back was fine, and you didn't seem to have any unnatural path with your arms.
Yeah.
So that's great. That is actually the end of our main set, Matt. We're just going to work into a cool down now.
Yeah.
We'll see how things go.
Easy.
Perfect. So the cool down is much the same as the warm up. 5 minutes of aerobic. You can either go onto the spin bike or the roller, ski erg again, whatever your choice. Then we'll work through some dynamic movement, much the same as we did last time, and then we'll work into some static stretching.
Yeah.
The idea of this cool down is to take you from this elevated state of activity back to what you would kind of be at a regular point during your day.
Yeah.
So, where would you like to go for your aerobic?
Probably do the scale again.
Not a problem. So we'll get
Too short for 'em.
it's alright. Yeah, lovely. Lovely. And again, don't work yourself too hard. You've done the main set, it's now time to cool down.
Yeah.
That's it. And so again, for the purpose of this video, we'll get Michael to finish up on the ski erg in just a minute, as opposed to the full 5 that they would typically go through for the sake of filming. From there, we'll work through the rest of the cool down as thoroughly and quickly as we can. So when you're ready, feel free to hop off. And so the majority of the rest of our session will be some dynamic movement followed up by some stretching. So we want to start off, we're going to do some lunges. This time they'll be unsupported, but still essentially in the same spot. So it'll look something like this. So either hands behind your back, on your shoulders, or in front of you. You're just going to step forward here like that. So it can either be on your waist or behind your head, whatever's most comfortable. We're going to do 10.
Easy.
Yep. So 5 each side. 1,
Do I swap sides?
either or. 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're just working him through this range of motion as he has already done in the session, just to make sure that we keep getting a little bit of a blood flow and light work to that area, just to help it all cool off. Nice work, Matt. And now we're going to do a very similar thing to what we did before, walking knee tucks. And so again, 5 per side. So just up through here. 1. You can either swap leg or you can do the one walk. 2, 3, 4, and so on.
1, I'll do stop legs. 2, 3, 4, 5. Coming to 10, so I'm swapping legs.
Yep.
7,
8,
8,
9,
9,
nice.
10.
Perfect. And now we're back on to essentially what we're going to do is some flighter claps. It's a very similar thing to what we did with our arm circles, just for a bit of range of motion. But it looks something literally like this. You're going to fly and cross up. And looking for just a big range of motion. So give yourself plenty of space. We want that arm to extend back and forward as far as they possibly can.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. And that's the extent of that. We now have, again, some body weight squats. So they're going to be very light. We're just going to do 5 to 10 of them. But all I want you to do is just drop down nice and slowly and back up.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice work. Now we're into the final component of our program, which is some static stretching, which is essentially just lengthening the muscles for about 30 seconds in some various positions and holds. So we'll start off with calves. And so what's going to happen here is you either find a spot against the wall, and I'll just show you in a second. It'll look something like this, where we have one foot in front of the other, and we're just putting our weight on that back foot. So you can either have this foot here as support, or just hang it over the back.
Yeah.
So we're just going to hold that for 30 seconds.
Yep.
Nice. Good, and swap. Good, and swap. Oh, we're done, sorry. We've done that too. Now we're working into our groin. And so this is the last really of our standing exercises that we're going to do. Essentially, we're going to stand with our feet wide apart. We're just going to transition our weight onto one foot, and we should start feeling a stretch, as I say, throughout the groin. Just going to hold that for 30 seconds. And swap. That's it. Keep your feet nice and wide apart. The lower the sink, the greater the stretch, but don't hurt yourself.
Yeah.
That's it. Good. Now we're going to go down into some seated stretches. Our hamstring, our quad, and our glute. And then we'll work into some other standing stretches. So if you want to take a seat, facing whichever way you want. But essentially, you're in the right position right there. Perfect. And we're just going to reach for our toes. That's it. Don't hurt yourself there. This one is always the nemesis, really, for most people. This is where they feel the most pain, but we don't really want to feel too much pain. We just want to feel that kind of tight, stretching sensation. And swap.
I can't reach this one anymore.
That's alright. If you just need to grab on your leg, that's all you need to do. Great. Now we're going to work into a quad stretch. It's a similar position to what we were in just now. You can either have this leg out in front, but this leg here, or by your side, sorry I should say, but this leg here will come behind you.
Yep.
And sit like that, and you'll support yourself on your hands. And so you should feel it right up the middle here. You can either sit back on it and just hold it in place. It doesn't matter, as long as you feel the stretch up the middle here.
Yep.
That's all we need. And swap. There you go, there's the benefit of the gym in the bush. That's it, all the kookaburras. And so now now we move on to our next or last ground-based stretch, which is our glutes. And so it's a bit of a strange stretch, but you're going to start with one leg up at 90 degrees, and you cross the other leg over. And so as you bring that leg up, the stretch will increase. So as you bring your foot closer to yourself, you feel your glutes stretch a little bit more. You can either hold it there if you need to with your foot, but make sure you are supported from behind. You feeling it?
Yes.
Yeah, good.
Wait, can I move my hands there?
And what? Leg down, cross it over, and back up. If you need to increase the stretch, you can also shuffle yourself towards your foot.
So much just along the back of the thigh.
Huh?
You're supposed to feel that one like along the back, yeah.
Around that area. So hamstring and glute. Lovely. And now we're going to be back on our feet for our last couple of stretches. First one being our shoulder. We're just going to bring our arm across our body and try and pull it close to our chest as possible. This should stretch the back of our shoulder. Flipping over. That's it. Lovely. Now the final stretch, which I reckon this is a great piece of equipment to use. You'll just stand here, and you're going to either have your arm against here or against here, and it's just going to be putting your weight in front of that arm and stretching your chest across here. I'll use this piece here.
So just moving forward.
Yep, just shifting your weight forward. You should feel it across your chest just here.
Yeah.
Lovely. And swap to the other piece as well. I'll get this bench out the way for you. That's it. Nice. Well, Michael, that concludes our session. That's the entirety of your first gym introduction.